Welcome back to another episode of He Said, She Said, a podcast. I am your co-host and the He Said of this podcast, Jason, and I'm joined as always by my lovely co-host, Lauren. Hi, Lauren. How are you doing?
Hi, Jason. I am just okay.
Aw, man.
I got a
shucks.
hella headache.
A hella headache. Those are the worst headaches to have.
Yeah, it's very whoa.
It's very very hella.
Yeah. So one of the questions that we get asked as long distance partners is like, where did you guys meet? Did you meet online? And
OMG.
huh?
I said OMG.
Yeah, totally. And so the answer to that is always really uncomfortable because no, we did not meet online. We met at a con.
Yeah, we met at a cool con, the con for cool kids that we were both at. We got personally invited to it because that's how cool we are.
He's lying. We met at VidCon.
We did. VidCon 2013.
Which, for those of you who don't know, because you're listening to this like on Tumblr, it's a convention for YouTube filmmakers, which is the thing that we were both really into back in the day. We've been at VidCon twice now. What do you think about cons as a whole? What cons have you been to?
I've only been to VidCon. I think that's really the only con that I've attended. Yeah, that's the only one I've attended. I think I've been to a couple of other, like, not necessarily conventions, but they were just like more like gatherings, large gatherings for things.
That's not a con.
Yeah, but it wasn't a con.
So you've just been to VidCon, so you can sit down and shut up, and I'm going to talk about all the cons that I've been to.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. Pro coming in.
Yeah. So as a past member of the publishing industry, I've been to many book-related, they're technically called expos or conferences, but let's be real, they're conventions for book people. You've got panels, you've got free stuff on the exhibit hall floor.
You got long lines.
You got your weird flirters, and you got your peers.
And you got alcohol that's flowing. That's
true. You'd be surprised at how drunk librarians get.
Oh, I'm sure. They party hard.
They do. So cons as a whole, though, I went to VidCon was probably the first con that I went to just like for funsies, and it was good, but I guess I feel like I haven't really had the con experience in that I wasn't really excited about any of the panels, and I just mostly hung out with friends that aren't normally around.
Yeah,
that was probably your experience too, right?
It actually varied. I think the first year that I went, I think I was excited about a lot of the panels, actually, because I think I was like really wanting to get back into YouTube, and I thought that this might be like a good way to do that.
Did it work?
Kind of get inspired. It did for a second. I think I made like 2 YouTube videos after VidCon. Maybe 2 or 3. 3. Thank you. Kept tabs on me, did you? I made that much of an impression. Okay. No, so like, yeah, I think I went and like really paid attention to a lot of the panels. Like I paid attention to pretty much all the panels that John Green was on, like the education panel that he did, I really liked. And so I think I tried to absorb as much as I could. And even like, I guess, meeting the people that I did there, including yourself, just trying, getting like people's vibes, like, how do people who are on YouTube, like, what are they like? And who are like moderately successful YouTubers, like even small time content creators. I think it was really nice to like just meet the people behind them. So I think that's what, but then I think the second year that I went, it was just more for friends. Yeah, exactly. I didn't really care for a lot of the stuff that they had because it was like just the same thing as the year before almost. And all I really cared about was like hanging out with people. But yeah.
And you did. You got to.
And I got to, yeah.
You hung out with me.
I did get to hang out with you. That was good.
Yeah, so you bring up a good point about like year 2, in that it just doesn't seem as appealing. I almost feel like there's this thing with cons where like your first one is always the one that you remember and everything else has to live up to that one, and if it doesn't, it's like disappointing. VidCon, because it was a smaller con, it grew a lot.
It did.
And
we caught it in its infancy.
Yeah. It's kind of, I'm not a fan of like a lot of people. So I mean a lot of people as in a crowd. I like most people. So yeah, year 2 of VidCon was a little bit rough. Interestingly, the book related conventions I've been to have not been nearly as nuts as VidCon. They've been nuts. Mm-hmm. There was one BEA that I went to where someone was like, I got bitten while trying to get a galley of such and such book, and people weren't really sure whether or not that was true, but I knew the girl, so I was like, I guess maybe.
Many tall tales at BEA, and not just the ones that have a binding.
So, in the future, I think you mentioned to me that you'd be interested in going to more cons.
Yeah.
What kind of thing are you thinking about?
I think I'd like to go to smaller cons. Mm-hmm. Like, I think some, like, which one were we talking about going to? The one that's in Anaheim.
Yeah, WonderCon?
WonderCon. Because I think that it's still at a good enough, like, small time arena that it allows you to have a little more personal experiences with maybe some of the artists and writers and stuff like that that are in comics. So I think that would be really good. I don't know if I ever, like, I think for a long time I really wanted to go to Comic-Con, like San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know if I have that desire anymore.
It's crazy.
Like, yeah, like, that's exactly, like, I don't, like, also another con that I kind of wanted to go to, which I don't think it's technically called a con, it's an expo, but E3. Like, that was one that I wanted to go to for the longest time when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. Now, don't think I could do it, just because it's so freaking packed with people. Yeah. And it's just...
it's an advertising event.
Yeah, it really is.
Same with Comic-Con now, really.
Yeah, like, honestly, I'd much rather stay at home and, like, be on my phone constantly and just looking for updates, because it's way more comfortable. I don't need to be at Hall H, like, while they play new stuff for, I don't know, whatever Marvel thing. Marvel's not going to be at Comic-Con this year, though, surprisingly.
Yeah, I'm not even going to pretend to understand that. But, hey, I don't know. Yeah. I think, if I were to go to another con, I'd probably want it to be one where I could find an artist alley, like a really cool little part of the convention where you can just walk through and look at all the zines and little comics and doodads that people have made.
Definitely the doodads.
Yeah, I'm all really into doodads.
Side note, like, when I picture doodads, I almost separate that as dude dads.
Yeah.
So it's like super cool dads.
Yeah,
like,
you can purchase those
I am a doodad. Continue.
But at the same time, con culture, we just have to find one that really meshes.
Yeah, with us.
Yeah.
There's also Emerald City Comic Con, which is in Seattle.
I'm not traveling that far to go to a con.
We should, though. Let's do it. Let's go visit Seattle and also partake in a con.
You can't do both.
We can try.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap on our discussion about cons.
I think so. What do you have any last thing? Like, what is your last little, like, thing that you'd like to say? Like, I mean, you've been to all these cons.
Yeah, this is actually going to be my first summer without a con.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling okay about it, to be honest. I've been conned, might be all conned out for a little while. But I'm certainly excited to see, like, what else pops up now that I'm in a more kind of centrally located area. How about you?
Good.
Last thoughts?
Oh, last thoughts. I think, I've had a good experience with cons, but now, like, looking, like, into the future, I don't necessarily need to go to any of them. Only thing that would draw me to one is if, like, somebody that I really wanted to see or meet, or, such as, like, if Brian K. Vaughan or Fiona Staples
See,
or something like that we're at. Like, I don't, not necessarily to like fan over them, but just to like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, and that's the interesting difference between the two of us, I think, is that you want to go to meet people that you already know of, and I want to go to like look at stuff by people that I have no idea who they are. I want to go to cons to discover. So that's an interesting thing to kind of realize just now.
It's true, yeah, and I think I go to them for more like these things that are more like ideas. Like they're people, but I mean they become more tangible when I can finally like see them and are like, yeah, like that's the person behind.
All right, John
like,
Green.
Whatever. Okay. No, but seriously, yeah. Anyways, that's gonna lead on to another tangent.
And Brian K. Vaughan, we will look out for them if they're coming.
Please.
Anywhere, we'll find them.
Okay.
All right. Good. Well, thanks y'all for listening to He Said, She Said, a podcast. We hope you like our new shorter format, which we're experimenting with. Leave us some feedback on our Tumblr page, which is linked below. Also, subscribe to us if you like what we do, if you like hearing us ramble. And we will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.